The galaxy had seen many wars, but none so small and yet so enormous as the one that began with the death of a single girl. Her name was Jonah Hale, age 9, born in the orbital city of Erebus Station, on the rim of the Orion Arm. She was the daughter of an engineer and a linguist, part of the first generation of humans who had been allowed to live among the Galactic Concord, a federation of hundreds of alien species who prided themselves on enlightened coexistence. But coexistence had never truly been equality. Humans were newcomers, tolerated, not trusted. They were permitted to work, to trade, even to marry within Concord space, but they were not allowed to serve in any position of authority or military command. The Concord called it precaution. Humans called it what it was, fear. Lyanna's father, Commander Jonah Hale, had once served in Earth's defense fleet before humanity had joined the Concord. He'd been promised peace, safety, and a chance for his daughter to grow up without war. That promise was shattered in a single afternoon. The Tarrak coalition, a predatory race of reptilian mercenaries, raided Erebus Station under the pretense of collecting tribute. They accused the humans aboard of withholding resources. When the inhabitants refused, they began executing families as an example. Jonah was on the surface of the colony moon, overseeing a hydrothermal project. By the time he reached orbit, the station was gone. The Tarrak cruiser had obliterated it. Lyanna's name was one among thousands in the casualty list. The Concord called it a tragic misunderstanding. No punishment was issued. No reparations made. The Tarrak continued to trade freely under the Concord banner. Humanity was told to forgive and move forward. But humans remembered. Across the Sol system, in the shipyards hidden within Neptune's shadow, old machinery stirred. For decades, Earth had been quietly building. The Treaty of Assimilation had required all human military fleets to be dismantled, but the Admiralty had never trusted alien promises. In secret, they had built the Aegis Protocol, a network of stealth shipyards, automated production worlds, and deep space foundries that churned out dreadnoughts, cruisers, and planetary assault craft under the guise of asteroid miners. Each ship was built from quantum-fold alloys mined from black holes. Each engine ran on dark fusion drives, beyond Concord comprehension. The project was hidden so well that even most of Earth's population thought humanity was truly defenseless. When news of Lyanna's death reached Earth, the Aegis Council convened for the first time in nearly 50 years. The meeting was held in the vault beneath Olympus Mons on Mars. Admiral Ilara Knox, the highest-ranking officer of the Hidden Fleet, stood before the assembled commanders. Her voice carried across the amphitheater, calm but burning with restrained fury. "They killed a child," she said. "And they call it a misunderstanding. They think humanity will bow again. But I say this. The day they murdered one of ours, they reignited the forge of Earth's wrath. We will not go to war for vengeance. We will go to war for remembrance." Jonah Hale stood among the officers. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. He had refused all condolences. "They took my daughter," he said quietly. "Then they told me to move on. Can't. I won't." Ilara looked at him. "Then you'll help us lead, Commander. You'll make sure her name is never forgotten." And so the Aegis Protocol was activated. Within days, the Hidden Fleet began to awaken. Massive dreadnoughts rose from Neptune's ice, their black hulls glimmering with faint blue light. Thousands of drones began preparing supply routes through the Oort Gate, a secret slipspace corridor that connected Sol to distant sectors of the galaxy. Every piece of the puzzle had been waiting for a reason to move, and Lyanna's death was the spark that lit the engine of humanity's vengeance. The first phase was Operation Veilfall. Humanity would not declare war openly. They would dismantle the Concord from within. Human merchants, smugglers, and data runners began feeding intelligence to Aegis Command. Secret colonies went dark, their populations quietly evacuated. Deep space relays began transmitting ghost signals to mislead alien surveillance. At the same time, the Ghost Fleet, a flotilla of cloaked corvettes, slipped into Concord space. They intercepted Tarrak transmissions, hacked into military channels, and learned the horrifying truth. The raid on Erebus Station hadn't been an accident. It had been ordered. The Tarrak governor, Vorr'Kas, had deliberately targeted human civilians to test the Concord's reaction. When none came, he boasted privately that the ape world is too weak to avenge its young. That recording made its way back to Earth. It was played before the Aegis Council in silence. No one spoke. No one needed to. Then Alara Nox gave the order that would mark the beginning of the most feared day in galactic history. Prepare the fleet. Across the solar system, humanity's war engines came alive. From Mercury's scorched vaults rose orbital rail platforms. From the hidden shipyards of Titan came wings of Ares-class destroyers. The Soul Guard AI, dormant since the assimilation, reactivated and began coordinating targeting matrices. But the galaxy remained oblivious. To the Concord, Earth was a quiet, grieving world, its people docile and compliant. They could not have known that behind that quiet grief was a storm sharper than any weapon they had ever imagined. Meanwhile, Jonah Hale returned to Erebus debris field. He took command of the HSS Valiant, a stealth battleship built under the Aegis project. As his ship's dark hull slid through the frozen wreckage of the destroyed station, he stared at the shattered fragments of what had once been home. He whispered, "Liana, I'll bring justice for you. I promise." From his command deck, Jonah transmitted a coded message through the Ort Gate, a message that would reach every hidden fleet, every silent ship, every human outpost scattered across the stars. The message contained only 7 words. "The day of Earth's silence is over." The reply came seconds later, echoed from thousands of ships across deep space. Aegis rising. In the following weeks, strange events began to ripple across the Concord. Ships disappeared without trace. Convoys reported phantom vessels shadowing them through hyperspace. Military beacons malfunctioned. Some alien admirals whispered that humans had awoken something, a specter from their mythic past. They were right. The hidden fleet of Earth, a legend even among humans, was real. It had been hidden for generations, waiting for the one moment when humanity would finally say, "Enough." Now that moment had come. And on the horizon of the galaxy, the first human dreadnought broke from stealth near the Tarrak capital world, its massive cannons unfolding like the wings of a dark god. Its hull bore no markings, only a single inscription etched into steel. For Jonah Hale. Part 2. The Day of Earth's Rising. The Tarrak homeworld, Vorr'Kas, orbited a dying red sun. It was a world of burning deserts and endless fortress cities, each one bristling with turrets, plasma towers, and fleets of warships docked in orbit like steel predators waiting for prey. For centuries, the Tarrak had ruled their sector through fear, enslaving weaker races and enforcing tribute laws under the supposed oversight of the Galactic Concord. No one had ever dared attack them. Till now. The human dreadnought HSS Valiant, under Commander Jonah Hale's command, appeared at the edge of the system like a phantom. Its black armor shimmered with the light-bending distortion of a stealth field. Around it, the rest of the Aegis Fleet decloaked. 12 dreadnoughts, 40 cruisers, and hundreds of corvettes, each one running dark fusion drives that emitted no detectable signature. To the Tarrak defense grid, the humans simply appeared out of nothing. Contact detected. A Tarrak operator shouted across the control deck of the orbital fortress Zir-Karn. Unknown vessels. Configuration not in database. Vrixen Ul, the governor who had ordered the slaughter of Erebus Station, stood before the viewport. He snarled, baring rows of serrated teeth. Identify them. The operator trembled. I cannot. They carry no transponder. No signal. They are broadcasting only a single code. Play it. The transmission filled the command chamber with a voice. Calm, cold, human. This is Commander Jonah Hale of the human fleet. You murdered my daughter. You murdered thousands of innocents. The Concord will not punish you. So we will. Then the signal cut, and the sky above Vorr'Kas lit up with fury. The Valiant's spinal railgun fired first. The shot crossed the void faster than light, a streak of blue-white fire that split an orbital fortress in half. Explosions rippled across the surface as secondary detonations consumed the defense grid. Within seconds, the Tarrak fleet scrambled from dockyards, hundreds of ships rising to meet the intruders. But they were too late. The Aegis Fleet moved with machine-like precision. Each human ship was networked to the Soul Guard AI, coordinating thousands of targeting solutions simultaneously. Drones swarmed ahead like metallic hornets, ripping through enemy shields with nanolance fire. The human vessels didn't rely on plasma or fusion weapons. They used kinetic singularity rounds, slivers of compressed matter that could pierce planetary crusts. In less than 10 minutes, the Tarrak fleet ceased to exist. On the surface, Vrixen Ul watched in disbelief as fragments of his ships burned through the atmosphere. This is impossible, he hissed. No species could build this in secret. But humanity had. In orbit, Jonah Hale stood on the Valiant's bridge, his hands clasped behind his back. His officers waited for his command. Target the capital, he said quietly. Admiral Knox's orders, his first officer asked. She said to make them remember. The Valiant rotated slowly, its main cannon aligning with the planet's largest city. Jonah hesitated for a moment, then thought of Lyanna's laughter, her little hands painting stars on the viewport glass of their home. The hesitation vanished. Fire! The beam struck like judgment. The capital vanished in a storm of light, reduced to molten rock in a single heartbeat. Then silence. Across the galaxy, sensors screamed. Concord stations detected energy signatures on a scale unseen since the ancient wars. Dozens of fleets mobilized, unsure of what had happened, but every one of them received the same encrypted message on the Concord emergency channel. This is Earth. We remember what you forgot. You call it peace, we call it submission. You call it unity, we call it silence. No more. The hidden fleet had revealed itself to the galaxy. Admiral Ilara Knox addressed the Concord High Council via hololink from Mars. Her uniform bore no insignia of the Concord, only the crest of Earth. You failed us, she said to the assembly of alien diplomats. You allowed the murder of our children. You told us to forgive. We will not forgive. Not again. The Archon chairman, a gelatinous being who represented the Concord's peace division, sputtered. Admiral Knox, this is a violation of the Concord Charter. Humanity cannot. Knox's gaze was steady. You mistake us for members of your club. We resign the day you let a human child die without justice. Then she ended the transmission. The galaxy erupted into chaos. Some species denounced Earth. Others, long oppressed by the Tarrak and their Concord overlords, secretly sent envoys. They had seen what humanity could do, and they wanted to stand beside them, not against them. Jonah Hale, meanwhile, led his fleet deeper into enemy territory. Every system the Tarrak held fell within days. Human marines, descendants of soldiers once disbanded by treaty, descended onto occupied worlds, freeing slaves, dismantling labor camps, and raising the flag of Earth over liberated cities. The liberated races began to whisper a name: the Dawn Legion. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy saw something new. Not a conqueror, but a species that fought for justice born of pain. Humanity's vengeance had burned bright, but beneath that fire was a deeper purpose. When the last Tarrak citadel fell, Jonah Hale walked among the ruins. He stood before the wreckage of Vorr'Kas' palace. The governor had tried to flee but had been captured. Now he lay at Jonah's feet, bound and trembling. "You killed a child," Jonah said. "You called her insignificant. Tell me, Governor, do you still think we're insignificant?" Vorr'Kas' tongue flicked nervously. "You're monsters. You killed millions for one girl." Jonah knelt beside him. "No, we killed monsters for one girl. There's a difference." He stood and gave the order to the security team. "Transmit the feed. Let the Concord see what happens when they call human mercy weakness." The governor was taken away. His trial was broadcast across every channel in the galaxy. The verdict was swift: guilty of genocide. The sentence was carried out by the very species the Tarrak had enslaved. And when it was over, Jonah returned to the Valiant's bridge. Admiral Knox appeared on the holoscreen. "It's done," she said. "The galaxy knows what we can do. They'll come for us next." Jonah nodded. "Then we'll be ready." Knox's expression softened. "Your daughter would be proud." He didn't answer. He simply looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there among the endless lights, he imagined her spirit dancing, free at last. Over the next decade, the Aegis Pact was formed, a new alliance of liberated worlds led by Earth. The Concord fractured, its members turning against one another. Humanity, once the youngest and weakest race, became the most feared and respected force in the known universe. But for those who served in the Hidden Fleet, it was never about power. It was about remembrance. On the anniversary of Erebus Station's destruction, a ceremony was held on Mars. A monument rose, an obsidian spire etched with the names of every life lost that day. At the base, in silver letters, was a single phrase that every human knew by heart: "They thought we would forget." As the crowd stood in silence, the sky above Mars shimmered. Dozens of ships flew in formation, the same dreadnoughts that had once burned worlds now gliding peacefully across the thin atmosphere. Jonah Hale stood among the spectators, older now, his uniform plain, his medals unworn. A small girl approached him, holding a flower grown from Erebus soil. She looked up and said, "My mother told me your daughter saved us all." Jonah smiled faintly. "No, little one. My daughter reminded us who we are." The girl placed the flower at the monument's base and ran back to her family. Jonah looked up at the passing ships and whispered, "Sleep well, Liana. The stars are safe now." High above, the Valiant lingered in orbit, its name glinting in the sunlight. For the first time in history, the galaxy no longer saw Earth as a backwater world. It saw the truth: humanity was not just another species. Humanity was the line that divided oppression from freedom, silence from defiance. And though peace slowly returned, every race remembered the day when the quiet blue world at the edge of the galaxy answered cruelty with fire. They called it the day of Earth's rising. The end.